Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video. Thank you all the members, all the patrons. Make sure to subscribe and let's get into it, guys. So yes, we are here again in the event that is going on for the April Fools. Very cool event. To be honest, I had a lot of fun, and sometimes, it's not always, but sometimes it feels like Gaijin tests things out. They never officially confirm this, but it feels like they normally test things that are going to come in the future for the game, for the main game, in these events, because it's a very easy way to just, get some testing on things that would change the game like immensely, right? And I think there are three things that they might be testing over here, which is pretty interesting. Sometimes these April Fool events, they don't even test anything, or sometimes it's just a very small thing, and this time we might see these three things being kind of present in the game. And to be honest, they're kind of big, to be honest. Like, it would be interesting, so let's get to it. So the first one, it is a more broader kind of situation. This is probably the least likely thing that it's a proper test, but still I think it's worth mentioning, and it's the map itself. The game mode, if you notice, is very dynamic. Although we only have one map that we are playing around, it is very dynamic because it changes a little bit on the sense of where you need to escape, etc. The spawns of stuff is random, stuff like that, and you have to pick things up, put it in another way. So I don't know how this would be a proper test for something realistic of a new game mode being added, but it does feel like if they put their heads a little bit on thinking about this event and maybe asking the community what they think about it, I'm sure that somebody would come up with a different idea that would mean that a game mode based off of this could actually be implemented, because this is very much different from the normal game modes that we have in ground battles, right? It is something very diverse, in my opinion, because you might see an enemy, you might not, but at the end of the day you still have stuff to do. And that's, I think, something that I've been complaining about for a very long time in War Thunder. I think the community itself is complaining, right? That the objectives are very simple in the game, and they're very not unique. They're always the same, and not that this is any different each time you play. It's basically the same, but it is a tiny little bit more dynamic, and they could actually take this as an example that a different type of gameplay could actually exist in the game, so maybe different types of capture points or different types of missions in the same game mode, protecting stuff, attacking stuff, getting stuff to point A to point B, or anything like that could actually be implemented in a certain way maybe, and actually be a new game mode for ground battles. As I said, this is the least likely thing to be a proper test, but I think it was worth mentioning because this game mode was actually very refreshing. Even though the vehicles, they are interesting, but I still much rather have a tank, a normal tank, and play around. They're very interesting, but it's not an MBT, it's not a medium tank, it's not a self-propelled gun or anything like that, right? I still think that those things are more interesting. Those normal vehicles are more interesting. But at the same time, even with the vehicles being just a normal truck with a gun on top, basically, for the most part, the gameplay itself is very different. Enemies can come from any direction, and you have different objectives to do while you don't see an enemy, so it's very dynamic, and that makes it for a very refreshing gameplay, right? The second thing is different variants of a vehicle, and what I mean about that is what you are seeing on the screen right now. When you are going to spawn in in a match, you have the ability to actually choose between variants of a vehicle with different things attached on it. And this could be a big thing, guys, because there are other games that already implement a similar-ish kind of situation, but even those games, I think this was the perfect solution for some of the vehicles. I think the minor example, but something that would be very clear for you guys to understand what I mean about that, is the T80B. For example, the T80B has the normal name as being T80B, but if you use the contact one ERA, it would be the T80BV, right? And with that, it would change the name, and it would be a different variant of the same tank technically. And that was never really like implemented properly, right? So this could actually add these types of different spawns like that, you know, changing a minor variant of a vehicle or anything that you want, honestly. Like if they want a big change, I mean, honestly, even if they want to add an F14A and B and you can choose between the two to actually spawn, I don't think that's the idea, but it is going to be minor things, but still enough to be a different variant of a vehicle, right? And if you want to change it up, take X or Y or different settings of vehicles or anything like that, maybe it would be more expensive or less expensive to actually spawn in a match, etc. It could be a thing, right? And it would be very, very cool to see that. This introduction could actually mean that we can have minor variants with just small modifications done to vehicles that exist already in the game, and with that a different type of gameplay style that can actually be added without having to fully research a new vehicle, right? So I think it's a very interesting thing, and hopefully it's added in some sort of way to the game. And of course, the last one, guys, I have to talk about this, is kind of a Levolution event here, right? It is very, very primitive, I gotta say, in the way that it works in the game. It is basically just like a sandstorm that comes in, and then you know, it changes the way that the game is, the weather, everything. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that this would be a test, like for something. I don't know if just sandstorms, maybe normal storms, maybe different winds and fogs and different weather things. But not only that, maybe the players could actually change stuff in the game as well, right? More than they already do. Just like the idea of Levolution in Battlefield was, right, back in the day. So yeah, hopefully this is added, because it really it's one of those things. It doesn't really change anything at the end of the day, but it is so cool to see, and it brings a little bit more to the immersion of the game, you know. So when you are just driving around in the desert and there's nothing there, and it's alright and it doesn't matter too much anything, but like then you look at the side and there is a massive sandstorm coming up, and you feel it like it's big, you know, and it's actually going to immerse you in a different kind of level of gameplay there, right? And of course they can even change that to certain things that can actually kill the player or something, like the idea that they talk about this sandstorm actually becoming heavier and heavier, and then you know, you cannot protect the vehicle anymore when it comes, and then technically would kill it. It's not like really implemented that, it's just the game's just ending, but you know what I mean, right? It's just something that would be very, very cool. And yeah, guys, it doesn't mean much, but it's not big like gameplay changes that will completely, oh my god, change the game. No, it's not, but it's the little things that make the game better. And I think the War Thunder game is in the right place right now, and it's going to the right place. Although yes, there are many things that need changing. It feels like it's progressing, and it feels like we are going to the right place. So yeah, these things, they're little things, but it would be so cool to have it in the game. Hopefully it gets added. Hopefully it is a proper test for those things. But even if it isn't, it is good to just have fun a little bit in the April Fools with it, right? But anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe, guys, and I see you guys on the next one. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about it, and bye.